other than my test drive, this is my first time driving my Shelby GT350. I just left the dealership a little while ago. I'm on my way back home. It's been a lot of driving. It's 2 hours down to where I bought this car, 2 hours back. It's been a very eventful day as far as everything else I had going on too. I do plan on doing a full review on this car. Because there is a lot of talk about the comparison and the contrast to my 2004 Cobra is like night and day. These two cars are built so differently for two different things that I'm really going to have to break it up into like separate videos comparing what aspect of this car to what aspects of the 04 Cobra that I have. It's too much to all cram into one video, but it's stuff that I'll start, doing videos on a little bit later on. I don't really want to do like a full review of the car at this point because it's like anything. I had my Bronco for probably like 10 months before I did a review on it and actually had it published. I'm not going to wait that long with the Shelby, but I just want a little bit more time with it to be accustomed to it, because right now it's the new shiny Christmas present underneath the tree, where there's nothing wrong with this car. It's amazing, flawless. It's basically the honeymoon period. So I don't want to give a review on the car without having it for a little bit of time. But initial impressions of this, wow, what a friggin' amazing car this is. There's so much stuff going through my head that I really need to take the time to sit down. I really need to be able to just sit down and think and get my thoughts together for what aspects of this car that I really want to talk about. Because right now there's just so much stuff that it's hard to really focus on one thing. I mean, this video is just going to be all over the place, I can already tell. I do have a video planned as well for how did I end up buying this? Like, what transpired? What went down from one day I have an 04 Cobra at the shop being worked on, and then the next day, within 2 days after that point, I have a Shelby. It's not quite as an eventful story as the 3-part series on buying my Terminator, but it all happened like really quick, and it's for another video. I'll go through all that stuff, and this is more just like more like an introduction video with a car to the channel, other than the reveal video, which if you haven't seen that, I'll link that below in a card up there. It's a really good video, so you're going to want to go back and watch that if for some reason you didn't see it yet. I'll probably bring up the same kind of thing in other videos because, like I said, this isn't the full review, but I wanted to touch on a couple of things. The power delivery on this GT350 is much different than my 04 Cobra. As a lot of you know that have been part of the channel for a long time, you know my Cobra is pretty well modified. I'm not sure at this point when I release this video if it's been re-dynoed with the long tubes and the new pulley yet, but roughly 700 plus at the wheels. Where that car wants to break your neck whenever you get on the throttle, this is much different. This car is much more refined, and it's just a totally different power delivery. It doesn't have the down-low torque that my Terminator has, but man, this thing just friggin' pulls and it pulls and it pulls. I don't think I've taken it over probably 5,000 or 6,000 RPMs yet, and the red line's at 8,200 because my brain is so trained over the years of having Mustangs, of hearing that certain RPM tone, that's when you shift. You don't have to look at your tach. You just know that, oh, I shift now because of the sound of the engine. With this, you're short shifting it at 6,000 RPMs. You still have 2,000 more to go before you're even getting close to your red line on it. It's going to be really hard to do a comparison with my Terminator and this car just because of the time span of technology. You're talking about 13 years later, from 2004 to 2017, and this car just seems to do everything better. But that doesn't mean I don't like my Terminator. Of course, it's my first Cobra, first real high horsepower car. This is my real first high performance car. This is like, I wouldn't call this like a pony car like most people say with Mustangs. This is more of like, it's not an exotic. It's not like it's a Ferrari, McLaren, or something like that. But it's that high tier echelon of a sports car, especially for what you pay for these and the performance you get out of it. Pretty good deal overall. You don't know you're going fast in this. Like right now, I was just going like 94. I'm just basically kind of going with traffic, maybe passing some traffic, but it didn't feel like 94. I had to slow down. I'm like down to 80 now. I shouldn't be going 94. But it doesn't feel like it. I'm just on the throttle and it just goes. In the Cobra, it's much different. You get up in those higher speeds and the thing is really pushing the RPMs and the supercharger screaming. You know you're really going fast in that. With this, it's a lot different. I mean, the exhaust tone wasn't that loud. It was cruising at like, 3,000, 3,500 RPM, and it's going like 94 miles per hour like nothing. I mean, it's so much different than the Cobra is. It's totally night and day. I don't really, like I said earlier, I don't really know what the focus of this video is. I just kind of wanted to turn the camera on, kind of give some initial first impressions, the first actual YouTube video driving in the Shelby. I mean, this car is absolutely friggin' unreal. I can't wait to have a little bit more time with it, do a full review for everyone, really break down everything that I really like about this car, the things where it maybe doesn't fall short, but every vehicle has its down points. I'm not going to just sugarcoat all this as the absolute best car in the world. I can already tell it's got a few comfort things. I don't mean the seats. The cars are friggin' amazing, but I'll get to the other stuff in a later video. It's nothing big. It's just nitpicky stuff that you have to say bad about what you own, because if not, you're just a fanboy of everything you have. I hope everyone liked the first video. I'll actually have more focused videos on, specific things to talk about with this car, as it goes forward. But I just, like I said, wanted to turn the camera on for the drive home, give you guys like a quick initial first impression, and kind of leave it at that for now. If this is your first time on the channel, there's a 2004 Cobra and now a 2017 Shelby GT350. So if you're new here, it'd be great if you hit the subscribe button and come along to see what happens with this car, with my plans with it, what I'm doing with it. But if you did make it this far in the video, make sure to leave it a like. But above all else, thanks for watching.